Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pen with AI. This is Man speaking. Today I'm trying to do a different style compared to the style we have in the previous three episodes. Today I'm going to use one of the art style that is more. I was very into it in the early time of my painting time. This time we were trying to use in more like a monocolor with the gradient as a base, and then gradually to finish the painting. Basing on the gradients that we have, which you will see pretty soon after I finish the sketch. And this time I was trying to do a more like a narrow kind of uh, canvas, uh, because this the last one when we did, I did found this perspective is quite interesting. So I'm trying to do a few more this kind of tall, narrow kind of canvas, maybe for the next few more painting, but we'll see. Yeah, whatever we think could be interesting, then we will go for it. So the idea here, just doing very quick sketch as usual. This time trying to have the idea is more like a two adventure. You can see in the bottom right, they come into a forest and are looking for the sacred tree they have been looking for, and which will be in the center of the painting. So here, as I say, the this art style, usually we are more focusing on using one major color in it. In here, you will see it's majorly is green, and then we were using the gradient, and then to kind of add more kind of detail, and then also give the more like a depth basing on the color we have. And I like this kind of style a lot when I was young. I believe this because just like this kind of color will give you more like unsurreal kind of feeling. You feel more like not in the real life and more like in the more fantasy kind of world. And so there was during a period of time I was so into this kind of um, style, and I do a lot of tons of painting on that. And then but later on just become shifted back to different kind of style. And now I think this is a really good time since we are exploring with the AI tools. So I will also want to give it a try to see we can figure out like what kind of how is the AI will interact with different kind of style. And then in this one, I actually learned a very interesting experience. It turns out, also maybe because the thing we have is a forest, but in general, this time I spend more time in adding the value, which you will see here, the color and then the composition in general. Probably will you will feel a little bit more I add more time and effort into it. So it turned out when I put this the first pass I have to the AI, it actually did pretty well. I guess just because we give enough like value information, and then so it's make it easier for AI to really understand what's the composition and what's the object inside the painting. But also maybe because we don't have much very unusual kind of object in the scene. It mainly is just like a tree and human characters. It's not like we have a ghost or like a fantasy creature like slime or like a werewolf, those kind of more unusual kind of creatures. But this is just like a very interesting find out, and then I think I definitely will want to explore more later on. So hopefully, we will see more different, few more like example in the later episode. So you can see here, even until now, I'm still trying to add in the value to the scene. I haven't even put it into the any AI tools. And then later on, I also will show you about I'll put the draft I have into both the Comfy UI and then also the Chat GPT, and you will see another reason. I will say some like how Chat GPT could be more good at give you accurate information when he doing the painting, which means when you tell him to draw a book, he will draw more like a real makes the book that makes sense. He won't give you like a very weird shape or like a weird kind of composition. But the problem with ChatGPT is it will repaint the perspective and then also change the color value and then art style quite a bit. I did try to give him reference and then ask him to do the painting that I was trying to do. But even I give him more like a more refined, or even I just give him some other artist's painting, and I try to ask him to copy the art style. But you can see ChatGPT have very strong kind of, you can say, personal preference, or when it come to, especially when it come to like a realistic kind of painting, he has a very always have his own kind of style. So I only try once and I immediately decide to just using the Comfy UI for the rest of this project. So later on we will also see that this also um, so right now it's more like that. Before I would say at this moment, different AI tools they will have a different kind of strengths and weakness. So we will just need to focusing to figure out in which kind of state what kind of tool can help us to do the job. And in here, I before I even before I send it to AI tools, I even try to add a texture, but the texture doesn't the photo texture doesn't really work well in here. I feel it just make it too noisy. So pretty soon I'm just remove it and just like a key adding the value. I'm trying to make more like also a little bit more color, trying to add as many detail as possible. It's just also because this kind of style I more feel is better, also very easy to just keep focusing on and keep painting it. So somehow I almost feel like I'm close to, if I don't send it to the AI, then I can almost finish the painting. But it's just like the fun here. Right now, no, regardless what kind of tool you use, I feel uh, have something cool idea in your mind, and then you gradually um, either through whatever kind of tool you use and then visualize it is always a very very fun activity and experience. So yeah, now I'm finally feel like it's there, the first pass. I'm happy with it. So I right now send into the ChatGPT. Both prompt is the same. I basically just describes, I say, two fantasy adventures, and then they come to in the forest while standing under a big trunk and looking into giant trees. That's, I think it's roughly like that. You can see a more clear prompt in here. And forgive me, sometimes I somehow just like so used to just like talk with ChatGPT, sometimes in the Mandarin. So it just feel Chinese, and then it just like make me feel so used to it. Especially English is not my native language, so a lot of description I figure kind of curious about how ChatGPT will respond to my Chinese compared to the English. And you can see here, even he do all the details really really good. The hand, the proportion, tree are all really good in the ChatGPT. but but it just totally changed the perspective. There's just like no way I'd be able to use that and then to continue to working in my painting. So I directly grab the two images that are rendered by Comfy UI and then apply into my painting to continue work on that. And yeah, that's the moment immediately I know I won't be able to. ChatGPT just wouldn't be helpful in this one at all. And so now it's back to the similar process as you see in the past few episodes. We have everything is ready, and then so we just grabbing the AI tool, the image that created by the AI, and then putting into it. And now I'm just trying to add in, refine more all the details, like the trunk here. It should be kind of is a gigantic kind of like a trunk, as you can see the user the character also standing on it, and then you just keep extending out toward the tree in the center. So the idea here will be, yeah, you is not like a directly uh, grow on the forest. Those little those thing is not grass, is forest. So I also trying to later on. I just want to add in more like a the tree forest kind of like a texture on top of it. Also the the giant tree in the center. This is the part right now I also trying to fix because as I say, in the bottom, those are not grass, those are also trees. And then it's just like there is a more even gigantic tree in the center. So now I'm just trying to fix it to make it look more like the trunk is be diving into those forests in the bottom instead of so you shouldn't see the how to say the root of the giant tree in the center. And then similar to the medium one, because this, even though it has a very interesting shape, but it still is a big trunk of the tree. Yeah, so they is supposedly to see as a one single giant trunk, and then divide it into three branches on the top, and checking the value a little bit, and then continue to working on all the details. And then in here, because I feel I want to enhance more the giant trunk that the character is standing on is actually extending out to into the scene. So I'm here. I just decide to adding another one, trying to guide to give more hint, the visual hint. And this is another part. As I say, I feel how the AI treat those forests more to yes, I think he just think that is the grass. So now I'm just trying to add in more like layer, and then to make it feel more like a they are forest, but not a flat grass on the ground. And then in terms of how to give make the visual feel more like it's a very gigantic stuff, and then to help the viewer to understand what exactly the proportion in the scene. There's a lot of trick we can use in here. Um, for example, I will add in some like air between the front scene, which is the character, also like between the front scene and the background. And then usually by that doing that, you can just add in a gradient. A gradient usually is a brighter kind of gradient between the front scene and the back scene. So you will see there will be more a kind of like a color will separate those two things, and then will make it feel more have the distance. And then another one later on, you will also see what I did is adding some other objects that can help the viewer can immediately understand what's the size of the other stuff in the scene, which I'll add in the birds. And then when you see those birds are very, very tiny, when he tore to the tree, then you will realize, oh wow, if that's a regular the bird size, then that tree will be gigantic. And that's just like a some very simple kind of the trick to help user to understand the size, uh, object size in the world you created. And here's the same thing. Not trying to add in too much detail in here, but just refine the two adventures a little bit, and still keep checking. So here will be the part you're seeing. I'm trying to add in some the gradient, as I say, between the front scene and background. This gradient will be able to just like helping the user to understand more, like why by adding this gradient, the scientific kind of idea behind it is just because when when the object is more further away from you, you will have more color of the air. So which means that's why when you see the mountain in real life, when they are very far away, you will see those the mountain that's more far away, they will have more blue color because they are more kind of like into like be kind of covered by those. There's a lot of, like you can say, water steam like in the air, and those things actually will reflect always reflect a little bit of the color in the sky. That's why when the object in the back in the daytime, when you have something more further away, you actually will be have more like a blue color. And then in here, I just curious about how wild Comfy UI can go to. So I just unpurposely increase the denoises value. I actually also I'm trying to think if he can help me to add some other uh, inspiration about the color. I did try to add some prompt, I believe, like some colorful leaves or something, but the result I think is just okay. It doesn't really make me feel like can help me to push my um, the painting to another level. So I just play around, and then yeah, this is also the part I'm still learning about all the tool we have nowadays. So I feel yeah, just like as an artist, I feel yeah, we don't be afraid about trying new stuff. And then just whatever kind of soul you have, just give it a try. Sometimes it might give you some happy accident, and then that happy accident may come eventually become one of your working pipeline in terms of when you try to create something. And then after I just like have a more like a in general, I'm more happy about the composition we have here. I'm just trying to add in more like a detail to the everything. And then now here is the tree as a also kind of make it kind of more making sense. So this is basic like this. The rest of the part you will see just like keep polishing it, adding all the subtle detail, and then in the last one, I believe I would just like give you a kind of like a sunlight coming down from the forest to make it feel more sincere. Here's the part, just like this kind of style. I would say more color and this, and then the rendering we have here always remind me more like the stage lighting, like when you see in the Broadway or Broadway show or any kind of stage performance, because they're using a lot of this kind of lighting on the stage. It's always like this. It's just like a very, very strong color of the light, and then also have a focusing on the object that I want you to pay attention to. And it's just very easy to create certain kind of emotion when the people are watching it. So I think that's it. This basically is the episode we have in here. So again, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and then we will do more painting with the AI next time. So see you soon.